Okay, guys, here's part two of our discussion about writing packages. Okay? Just for some sample video, I'm going to use a couple interviews and some video that I've been gathering as part of a documentary project that I'm working on. So prior to all of this coronavirus, I was working on a project, a documentary for WEIU about Robert Root, who was a famous tonalist painter from Shelbyville. He died in the 1930s. So here I've just imported into Premiere some video that I gathered of some of his paintings and an interview with a collector by the name of Ed Bodecker. You see Ed right here. Ed's a delightful gentleman, has been collecting Robert Root paintings for years, and is an expert on Robert Root's life. So once you get to the point where you've gathered the interviews you think you need, and some video to accompany them, what I like to do is sit down, if I have the time, and just listen through the whole interview. Remember how I said in the last video, it's a good idea to not go too long on those interviews because that's going to give you more you have to sift through when you're putting together your package. And even here, this was about a 25-minute interview that I did with Ed. Now this is for a half-hour documentary project. So I'm going to need a lot more interview for that than you're going to need for these packages. Okay? So I have this sit-down interview with Ed, but I believe I've also got some video of him giving a tour. I think I have that around here. Maybe not. I may have to import that. Yes, I think I do. Let me just import the rest of that video. Because again, like I told you, you really are going to want to have, video of your subjects doing stuff. Okay? So I've got here some video of Ed taking me on a little tour of the Shelbyville Historical Society. So we'll go ahead and gather that video too. Okay, so here's some 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are just some more videos of Ed that we'll just gather. Okay? So one soundbite that I know I want is where, and I remember this from our conversation, Ed talked about how he began collecting and being interested in Robert Root's painting. So I'm going to find that soundbite.
And young Robert dropped out of school. Root paintings on the sale bill, they were, and Jeff was at an auction, and I didn't know who they were.
Right, that said that when he did
and I grew up with that painting in the house.
Here we go. I really like this soundbite that Ed gives, where he talks about how his mom bought a painting by Robert Root when he was a child. So I'm going to find that.
And this was back in the early 1960s when I was still in high school, and John unfortunately passed away in 1965. And then my mother had purchased one of Mr. Root's paintings about 1950 or 51 from neighbors across the street west of us here. And I grew up with that painting in the house.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and use that and just bring that soundbite down to my workspace here. And I like the soundbite because it's something where Mr. Bodecker is talking about the origin of his interest in this particular painting. Okay? One thing I remember him talking about was that Root had a real interest in painting scenery of central Illinois. We'll see if we can find that.
And he portraits of the debates. There was a couple of reporters that one was just now up in the invited to join the Hoosier group.
Paris came back. They're not dramatic like mountain scenes and
No.
things. These are, what we have here.
That's right, it was. Some of them were done locally, and you can more or less tell because of the more or less flat background. Whereas if they were in Brown County, Indiana, they certainly wouldn't be a flat background.
So I imagine that I could introduce this soundbite by saying something like, although Root painted elsewhere around the country, most of his works were painted in central Illinois, leading into that soundbite. And then finally, there's a soundbite toward the end where he talks about the fact that Robert Root made a point of remaining in Shelbyville and working there.
We each had two items to take, right? And he's one of them that came over to his funeral.
See.
Came back, always came back. This was his home. This is where he wanted to be. He didn't want to be famous, although I think he could have been with his talent. But Shelbyville was his home. Shelbyville was where he wanted to be. He did go to Cal.
I kind of like that. Okay, so we will bring that down. This is just my my routine. I like to go through my interviews and see what I have and then pick out some what I feel like are strong sound bites that I know I'm going to want to incorporate as I write my story. So what I would do then, after you've picked out a few sound bites that you like, write them out, type them out, whatever, and then you can begin the process of piecing those sound bites together with the rest of your story. So, for example, I might begin mine by writing something like, Ed Bodecker has been collecting paintings for years. And that collection began with a painting his mom bought when he was just a little boy. Soundbite.
I purchased one of Mr. Root's paintings about 1950 or 51 from neighbors across the street west of us here. And I grew up with that painting in the house.
After that, you could say something like, Mr. Root is Robert Root, a Shelbyville-born painter who drew renown around Illinois and beyond in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Though he painted in Indiana and in the West, most of his paintings were done in central Illinois. Soundbite.
Some of them were done locally, and you can more or less tell because of the more or less flat background. Whereas if they were in Brown County, Indiana, they certainly wouldn't be a flat background.
Then perhaps you could say, Bodecker says Root studied in New York and Paris, but returned home to Shelbyville, where he worked for the rest of his life. Soundbite.
Just where he wanted to be. He didn't want to be famous, although I think he could have been with his talent. But Shelbyville was his home. Shelbyville was where he wanted to be.
You could finish by saying, and Bodecker says that dedication to his hometown made Robert Root a local legend. See what I'm saying there? So I find it helpful to first go through my interviews and my video too and see what I have. And then write down my sound bites and put together the connective tissue to tell a story. Remember, the bottom line is you are telling a story here. You're not giving a report on an abstract topic. You are to be telling a story involving real people. And the sound bites are sort of the bones of that story, and then your voiceover that you write is the connective tissue, the muscle that makes it work. Okay? That's what I would encourage you to do. Look for a beginning, a middle, and an end. Those sound bites, again, you don't want them to be too terribly long. You certainly wouldn't want them to be more than, say, 20 seconds. Keep those sound bites reasonably brief so that you have a rhythm of your voice, a sentence or two, alternating with 2 or 3 sentences of their voice and back and forth. So that's the process of writing. I'm going to ask you to just post on a discussion forum on our D2L platform for this class an update about what story you're planning to do and the status of it. And then each week for the rest of the month, we're going to check back in on how those are going, and we can have discussions about how to proceed. So I hope this has been helpful. Feel free to email me absolutely anytime. We can arrange a time to talk on the phone too about any issues that you're having and how to make a really good package for the rest of this class. So I will be speaking with you soon.